Hello, my name is Oles Andriychuk. I'm a professor at Newcastle University Law School, and I also direct the Digital Markets Research Hub, a small informal place on YouTube where we discuss with academics and main policymakers the latest development of competition and digital markets. First of all, I'm grateful for the opportunity to present within this fantastic format. Thank you very much to Diritti Comparati for the place. And I have a pleasure to edit a book which I will be presented today, namely Antitrust and the Bounds of Power, 25 years on. This is an edited volume, and basically the book itself has been written 25 years ago by one of the leading competition law and policy thinkers and actors, a former Prime Minister of the Republic of Italy, Professor Giuliano Amato. 25 years ago, it was a very different world, as you remember. And basically, competition policy was on the eve of significant paradigmatic systemic transformation. We were somehow at the critical point where the traditional ordoliberal roots of European competition law, i.e. the route which navigated us closer to the structure of the markets, to the rights of the competitors, rather than looking exclusively at the efficiency as the main yardstick of legitimacy for competition law and policy, was in decline. And the new start, the new era was knocking on our doors from Chicago, the Chicago School, the more economic approach, nurtured by neoclassical economics, its price theory, and such a powerful rhetorics of consumer welfare. So it was a big moment for European Union, and the book Antitrust and the Bounds of Power, the Dilemma of Liberal Democracy, somehow epitomized this trend. It didn't promote this idea itself, but somehow acknowledged its inevitability. So it was kind of an introduction of the new of the more economic approach to the readers in Europe, or attempt to somehow to reconcile, or at least to scrutinize it through the prism of our European tradition. Professor Amato is the great thinker of Europe, and he belongs to the European tradition. But the book itself epitomized that trend. Now, 25 years passed, we are again on the crossroad, when we always in crossroad, yeah, but still, the European competition law is reconsidering itself, its roots, and we are much more skeptical about the role of law and economics, or rather about its monopolistic status in the kind of apparatus of competition law. And now we are using much more diverse, much more pluralistic toolkit. The goals of competition law are again polycentric. And thus it's excellent time for us to reflect critically upon over the last kind of quarter of century, which when we were nurtured by the ideas of purified ideas of law and economics, with those kind of mathematical industrial organization, econometric complexities, which is impossible to comprehend for normal mortals without degree or PhD in economics, special branches of economics. Now we are in the new start. So I had a pleasure to invite outstanding thinkers about competition law and policy to contribute to this volume. And obviously it was an easy task, because the name of Giuliano Amato works as a magnetic power. So everybody pretty much I approached were very happy to contribute. And if you look at the table of contents, we see such prominent competition law, but also I'm sure they are known for other colleagues in other areas of European law, such names as Frédéric Geny, head of competition committee at the OECD, Eleanor Fox from New York, Miguel Poyares Maduro, Porto and Florence, Giorgio Monti, Tilburg and Florence, Marcus Komnenos, one of the most impactful actors and thinkers about the goals of competition policy, Ni Doom from LSE, who is a co-author of one of the two canonic textbooks for European competition law, Stavros Makris, one of the most prominent thinkers in the trying to marry competition law with legal theory, with the discussions which we all are familiar in legal theoretical jurisprudential corners of our profession, Ginevra Bruzzone, Roberto Pardolesi, one of the most impactful law economics thinker in Italy, Anna Herbrandi from Utrecht, and then Professor Giuliano Amato himself has written the afterwards to this collection. So we have asked all of these authors to reflect upon the latest development in the area through the prism of Giuliano Amato's first book, but also they had an opportunity to look at each other's contributions to make the volume more coherent. And so far, we received very positive welcoming from those who had an opportunity to read the book. It was published by Hart earlier this year, and we are really keen to somehow to reintegrate the discussion from the Babel's Tower, which also is isolated island of competition thinking. We were trying to somehow to develop our own vocabulary, our own metrics, and trying to distance ourselves from other areas of law, considering that competition policy is inherently embedded in the vocabulary of economics. Now we realize that it was probably too naive, too mechanistic to simplify and approach, but still we hope that we will be able to bring something back to the broader EU constitutional scholarship in terms of our understanding of economics, because we have probably competition law over the last 20 years or so demonstrate the best example how different disciplines communicate, not only pro forma, but in reality. We all are bilingual in competition law these days, for good or for bad. So it's a kind of a new start for us, and we hope that this book, Antitrust and the Bounds of Power, will be a symbolic demarcation line or one of many probably for this new start, new, very interesting cooperations with constitutionalist peers are waiting for us, and we are very eager and keen to continue this research now jointly with colleagues from broader European law disciplines. Thank you very much again for the Rete Corporate for this opportunity to introduce myself and our volume. I hope we will continue these dialogues, multilogues in the future.